First, any injury updates or any developments?
From an injury standpoint?
Yeah.
No, I think Juan, hopefully he'll practice today. Kevin practiced today. So we didn't do anything yesterday. They just got treatment. So today will be our first day back since the game Saturday, except for watching tape. So, but I anticipate everybody being full go.
And I know, obviously, senior night, you've done this many times. Everyone's different, unique. Is there one that stands out to you, just looking back at it as you get ready for Tuesday?
I don't know that there's one that stands out. You know, seeing those 5 seniors in 08, you know, Wayne and Keith and Aaron and Mike, that's a big one. You know, obviously when my son finished up, and you know, when Frank and Devontae finished up, and Ochai finished, those are all huge. And there's you know, shouldn't mention that just those, because you know they're just a small piece of a much bigger group. But this one will be extra special because of, you know, Kevin graduates, and he's been great for us, but you know, very few have left the place a lot better off than they found it, like Jalen has, and so I'm very excited for him.
Hey, Coach, obviously the Big 12 this year has been arguably one of the best conferences in college basketball. You've talked about it many times before. You know, how impressive you've been with the team, you know, with the league 1 through 10, and ultimately what does that do for you guys as you head into March and hopefully make a, you know, deep postseason run?
Well, I think I would agree with everything that you said, except arguably. I don't know if there's any argument, you know, about it, that the league being so good. But, you know, the thing, I just hope the league's prepared us. You know, we played 20, according to the net, and I'm not saying that's perfect, but according to a big measuring stick they use, we played 20 quad 1 games out of 29. I mean, I don't know that we've ever even sniffed at doing anything like that in the past. So the schedule's been hard in large part because non-conference was really good, but the league's what's made it great. And you know, I hope for everybody in our league, certainly I hope it for us, that it'll be refreshing to get out of the league. Not that it's ever going to be easy. I'm not saying that at all, but it'd be nice to guard somebody where you haven't seen their stuff, and nice for them to guard you and they haven't seen your stuff. I think everybody looks at it that plays in a tough league that way when it comes postseason, and I've always felt that way going into postseason. You know, nobody knows us better than the 9 other schools in our league, and you can say the same thing on the flip side. But I think the league will have prepared all of us to go into the postseason with the mindset that we've at least been battle tested.
Coach, with senior night coming, just a moment of reflection about, you mentioned Jalen's left the program. He's done so much for the program in his years here. Could you just comment on his maturation, what we see from him this year, the satisfaction you get in seeing these young guys come in after they spend a few years here and been through a lot, and just some thoughts on Jalen.
Well, Jalen technically is a sophomore eligibility-wise, because he redshirted 1 year when he got hurt. He got the COVID year back, so he and Juan technically are sophomores, and we have basically 6 guys that are graduating, but only 2 of them are going to go through the process because of the options they have because of the COVID year for the future. But I think this about Jay, and I thought about this some in the last couple of days. I really don't know if we've had anybody more competitive. I really don't. I don't know that we've had anybody that wants to win. The will to win is any better than his. He is a stud, and even when he doesn't perform his best, there is never a question in his will to win being compromised at all. I think that separates him from just about all of them when it comes to that, from a toughness, from a competitiveness, all that stuff. But there's an extra element when you talk about making winning plays at game point. And I don't know that we've had anybody do it any better than what he has. So I'm extremely proud of him and happy for him, and he deserves hopefully the postseason accolades that he will get. Who knows? It still remains to be seen what that is, and there's still another chapter or two to be written before that. But he's been an absolute treat to coach.
When Coach Beeline left Michigan, did you know right away that you were gonna throw your hat back in the ring?
Well, I screwed it up in high school. I screwed it up because he was a Kansas guy. He was ready to go. At least that's what we were told, and I didn't pull the trigger. It wasn't the assistant's call, it was my call. I didn't pull the trigger because I thought it was a little early in the process and still had a chance to evaluate some others, and he was ready to do it. So we went from being maybe right in the lead to now it's over. He's going to go somewhere else, and that's the interesting thing about recruiting. It doesn't always work on the school's time frame. Most of the time, it works on the individual's time frame. And his time frame was to get it over with, and our time frame was, well, let's watch him and evaluate everybody we're recruiting a little bit more. But when obviously when Coach Beeline left and he became available, we got him in here and tried to get it done as quick as possible.
Bill, can you talk a little about Kevin? I know you've talked about how special his defense has been and just him coming in from Texas Tech and how he's kind of changed and impacted the team in his 1 year here.
Yeah, to me, Kevin was the perfect fit for us because he fit how we played. He can be an emergency point. He can be a 4-man, a 2, a 3. Handles it good enough, long enough, big enough to do all the different spots, so he's certainly impacted us. But the way he's fit in, and the way that he's basically made it so much easier for everybody on the defensive end is, our defense to me it hadn't been great, and we're 9th in the country in defensive efficiency. So, but we'd be no chance to even be close if it weren't for Kev. I mean, there's a big drop off when he's not in the game defensively, and that's a primary reason why he spends the majority of the time in the game.
And can you talk a little bit about how he's like in the locker room overall?
Yeah, I think he's great. I think he plays with a joy. I think he plays with a passion. He and Jalen are ridiculously close. They're, as they say in Oklahoma, they're tighter than 7 and 8. And you can tell they are. They really are close. And I think Jalen is a big reason why he's here. But I do think all the guys love these guys. I mean, we got a team of we got a pretty close-knit group, but certainly Kevin has fit in well, and he's been a good leader, and everybody totally respects he and his abilities and his voice, and I think he's done a good job in the locker room as well.
Getting off the seniors for a little bit, Juan's been really impressive in the last 4 games and last game, but I wanted to ask you about the sequence from about 17 minutes to 14 minutes. First half, last game, he seemed to either get a steal or take a charge almost every possession.
He got his hands on a lot of balls, and he made some great plays, and he was aggressive. Unfortunately, you just mentioned a 3-minute stretch. We'd like to extend that a little bit longer, but but he is. I don't know if you remember, if you watched that game to start out, he and Johnson dominated the game early. Johnson got his hand on every ball, or he disrupted everything we're trying to do, and Juan did the same thing to them. That was 2 disruptive point guards going at each other defensively. But Juan is also a senior. Juan is graduating this semester, and so but obviously Juan's should be back next year, so that's why he's not going to go through it yet. But you're right, Dave. He's played at a really high level, and we don't come close to winning that game on Saturday unless Juan is aggressive on both ends like he was.
And could you go back to first meeting with Tech, your memories of that, and then how
seems
will
like
they
2
improve?
seasons ago.
Yeah, right. It does.
Well, all I know is we beat them as bad as we could, and we had a 1-point lead, and they had the ball with 10 seconds left, and there was no call, and we get a run out and win by 3. I think we were up 8 with 3 minutes left. O'Banner makes a couple of bombs, but we did a decent job offensively attacking them, but we didn't guard them very well at all. We got to do a much better job defensively in this game.
And then how they've improved since they won 4 out of 5.
Oh, yeah, well, they've definitely improved, you know, they got the, you know, they've got the young man back, you know, obviously the big fella that was, obviously hurt and not playing. Of course, Bacho isn't playing now unless he plays against us, which I don't know if that's gonna be the case or not, but if they do, they'll have 2 7-footers that they can throw at us, but certainly, his skill level is very, very high. But when you think of Harmon and Pops and O'Banner and Tyson, there's 4 guys that are all capable of getting, you know, 15 to 25 in any game. So I think they're a lot better offensively than they were when we played them the first time.
Anything else?
Okay, guys.